loading snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin and with Jokes.
What's happening?
You are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And today we're going to talk about that Activision acquisition aftermath. Say it 4 times fast, Jokes, right now.
AAA. It's called. I just say AAA and call it a day.
Can't do it, huh? I mean, you're going to make the attempt.
Activision acquisition aftermath. Hey, that was actually not probably pretty
Deans, what's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? How you feeling? Always a pleasure to see you. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this Activision acquisition aftermath for sure. We're gonna do a little bit of a breakdown, talk about some of the things that happened the day after. The last show that we had on the same day that the announcement happened. So there have been a few things that have taken place since then. It's been a solid week. So we're gonna get into that a little bit. We're gonna talk about it's interesting that you asked J. Robert Deans how I feel. I'm gonna be honest. I've been a little winded. I don't know exactly what it is. Can't shake it. Just kind of tired. Feel fine for the most part, but just, I don't know. There's a lot going on, outside of illness and whatever else, and that's just life. So, but as a whole, I'm good. I'm here. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy you're here with me. We're gonna talk about Super Giant Robot Brothers. We're gonna talk about YouTube deciding that maybe they're gonna start trying to pay people using NFTs. We're talking about The Rock doing another movie. Marcus. Marcus, I want to say something to you directly. I appreciate your constant presence, and I want to thank you for not just constantly being present, but like I enjoy watching you on the anime chat. Like, listen, I'm not positive I know a bigger hater than you. I'm here for it, bro. You understand me? I love it, dog. What up, Cuddy? What's happening, man? We're gonna talk about Rainbow Six, Cuddy. We're gonna get there. We're gonna talk about that too. Yeah. There's a lot to talk about. So I say we jump into it. Here's what I want to do first. We're gonna jump into this video. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. It's a long video, but a couple of weeks ago, we were fortunate enough to have the ID Comics crew. So Jerry and Penny Gaylord, Brian Turner, Jose was on with us. One of the things that Brian Turner spoke to us about, which we actually ended up talking about a little bit last week, was how he had been working on this project that was supposed to be coming to Netflix, hopefully this year, and that it was really cool that he would do storyboards, and they would take those storyboards and jump in and dump them in the Unreal Engine, and they would literally just like act them out, and they could make changes on the fly and all that kind of stuff. So he made a post earlier today. Marcus,
we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let's get through this first, and then we will get to it.
Cuddy said, "Yay! Prior to vaccination being available, coworker called COVID and was winning for months. Hope it passes soon." Yeah, thanks, man. I still need to get my booster taken care of, which I'll get that squared away. I got to get me and the youngest boosted. I'm no longer considered fully vaccinated because I'm not boosted yet, but we'll get there very soon. Look, let's watch this and just see how this turns out. Now, I want y'all to know that like the application that we use to do this show changes something on us every week. It is an ever evolving. It's always getting better. I don't, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it is one of those things that like, they'll throw something at us. Like we'll jump back in to do something or whatever, and something's different. Mm-hmm. Things change. Things aren't where they used to be.
This last one was a wallop.
Home page completely different.
Like,
It's like,
you
whoa.
actually had to text us like, look, everything is different now.
Right.
That was
okay.
caps.
So, you know, we are the guinea pigs. We are one of the highest users for this particular application. We can ready to try something out. I hope it works. We're gonna find out in a second.
We'll find out together.
Like the head go.
Make that work.
So again,
Hi, my name is Mark Andrews, and I'm the director of Super Giant Robot Brothers.
Mark Andrews is somebody that Brian Turner specifically said he was very excited to be working with.
The world is under attack, and stopping it on our side are these two Super Giant Robot Brothers, Shiny and Thunder, made by our teenage genius, Alex Rose. And they have to fight kaiju and save the world in every
What's up, Sam?
The story is really about this family that have sibling rivalries all the time. That comedy action element was super attractive to me as a storyteller and a filmmaker. I've been in animation my entire life, and I was directing on Brave.
And the Oscar goes to Brave, Mark Andrews and Brenda Chapman.
We got an Academy Award and it turned out great, but the process of not being in context in animation, I had this epiphany. There's got to be a way to get that real-time flavor of making the movie in live action and the control that I have in animation and put them together.
At Real Effects, we had actually been talking about working in a virtual production pipeline for a while, and we were already playing in the Unreal Engine. So when Mark approached us and said he wanted to make this in a virtual production pipeline, we got extremely excited. We all did a test together. We shared that test with Netflix. Netflix got really excited, and they were really on board immediately, and we were off and running.
They both dove in. I haven't seen this kind of support, from studios at this level before, trying something totally new.
This process supports story in a visual context in a way that I've never seen before. This filmmaking team can live inside the story.
Traditionally it's like write a script, radio play, animate, done. In simple terms.
This is much different. Not only are we writing the script, you make
the idea of them being able to change things on the fly. This is one of the things that Brian Turner was saying was super cool. Like they take a storyboard, go in, they shoot it, go back to him and be like, hey, can you adjust this and this and this? And he would do it, and then they would just go and shoot it.
Script for the VO based on what happened on the stage, and then we'd move forward that way.
There's really interactivity between us, interactivity between our mocap actors, and it really transforms scenes.
It just got running so smoothly, and I ended up loving it so much.
You can see how quickly you can shoot cameras and do layout. So there's a lot of hard work up front, but the wins are incredible.
The main takeaway from this process is really the liberty that it gives the director in creating a show very early on, that they can then be shared to the artists that will be creating that vision.
It's a lot faster moving when it comes to collaboration between art and the previs kind of layout department. I think it's a great tool to work with because it lets you get into 3D much faster and also play with lighting and camera angles.
And to have my DP, Enrico Targetti, with me on stage with the camera, virtual camera in his hand, we can do coverage and cover different sides, feel the scene in different ways, so I don't have to settle.
It's like they're shooting an actual cartoon in real time.
But this is really different from any of the things that I did before and any of the things that any of us did before, honestly. If I had an idea, I would just do it. With just my thumbs, I could do 2 miles of technocrane movement.
That's what's mind-blowing. You're filming inside of a game.
He had an idea for a shot, grab a camera and just do your thing, reacting.
I think that's
whatever.
That's enough. What I really wanted.
That is clean.
Isn't it? Yeah. And my man literally said, you're shooting live
cartoon
inside of a video game.
Yeah.
Kaylee, we feel the same way.
100%.
Very good to see you too. I whatever it is that made you feel like you needed this, I'm glad we could be there. Oh, whatever that was is gone away now. You ever need something, you just reach out. You have my information. Feel free. So I just think, we've talked on this show time and time again about how video games is the biggest entertainment industry and that we're seeing Unreal and other game engines begin to get utilized as a creation tool, not just for the video games that we play. You know, the thing that separates video games from every other form of entertainment is the interactivity. And it's almost like you're literally beginning to see that in the creation of the movies and things like that you're watching. Literally, our show cutscenes, best part of the game, is called that because that's what you wait for. You play, and you get to the cutscene. Now it's like a cutscene literally can be an entire movie, and the way that they're able, or a show, and the way that they're able to do that, storyboard directly to do it, change storyboards to adjust it, is it's just incredible to see those things come together. We were fortunate enough to have, again, Brian Turner. You know, it was cool to kind of see some of his work back there plastered on the boards. You know what I mean? As they were working, which again I just think is really dope to see it go from this to what we saw, and then for them to basically be able to do it instantly.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
It's fire. Nuts.
It's
definitely a game changer. Yeah.
It is, man. I'll be honest with you. In a lot of ways, the kinds of tools that are being created and are becoming available to people to do this kind of stuff reminds me a lot of the changes I saw happen in the music industry. There was a time, like when I got involved in the music industry, it was extremely expensive to be able to get something if you wanted to be able to do something like make beats. Like what it cost you to get a set of turntables, what it cost you to buy an MPC 2000 so you could sample and hammer things out and put things together and save them somewhere and turn it into something in studios and studio time or whatever. And now it's like people just walk around with a laptop and everything is in there.
That's
and they
it.
can just, you know what I mean? It's not to say that if you go to a super expensive facility, you can't turn out higher quality work.
Right.
But you can turn out quality work super easy and just hammer it out on the simplest of laptops. And it's changed the accessibility, which has changed the level of creativity and has changed who has the ability to create something and put it in front of a lot of people. And that's a lot of what this reminds me of. Not that everybody has a mocap stage. Okay. I'm not
right. Like
I'm not.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that, like, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before you're able to get the dots and put them on a suit and shoot something like that with your phone. It's only a matter of time. Like that's literally what it is. Like it's the kinds of things that you can do with your phone now. It means that that's going to be a thing sooner than later. Think about how many people can just do green screen. Hey, Jokes. Use a green screen. Like it's
there's no. Hey, mine's even better. I don't even have green screen. Like there's nothing. Like,
you don't even.
That's just my normal ass room behind me right now.
Exactly. What's up, Heather?
What up, Heather?
Right, Perp. Some people are able to get everything done just off their phone. You know, people stream stuff directly off their phone. They shoot entire movies on iPhones. You know what I mean? So, again, the way that technology is evolving, like, again, keep in mind that, like, green screen was a thing that was reserved not even for TV, for the biggest budget blockbuster movies. And now people use green screen for business meetings on their Zoom calls.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like every day.
It's built into every app you're using for that type of stuff now.
Oh,
it's
it asks you allow green screen or not allow green screen. So people...
Right. Sam said phones are the new laptops and soon watches will be the new phones. Agreed.
Technically,
agreed. Listen,
are.
I called Kay the other day, right? He was like, yo, what's up? I'm at work. And I was like, well, I don't want to keep you. I was like, I had shot you a message earlier. He was like, well, I ain't see it. My phone's not with me. It's in the back or whatever. And I was like, oh, you talking to me from your phone? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, Dick Tracy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Jokes, that probably don't mean nothing to you. But like, do you know who Dick Tracy is, Jokes?
Yes, I know who Dick Tracy is.
Listen, I gotta ask, like, you know, yeah. Technology moving so quick. TikTok has their own kind of green screen feature, which is really again, like it's all those kinds of things, man. It's exciting to me because it is only a matter of time before versions of Unreal Engine are available on your phone and you can just do it.
You just go to work.
You know what I mean? And, you know, with the kind of stuff that we do, the way that we travel to conventions and talk to people at their tables, and people have these great original ideas, these incredibly original IPs. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, that's the Spider Ham. My sister got me that. Yeah. It's that is good. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, talking to people and having people like, yeah, we got these ideas and we've been pitching to people, but you know, they don't want to pay us this, or you know, certain things just aren't right, or you know, whatever. Like the idea of those walls, those barriers coming down, and people being able to have that creativity to do it right then and there. Does Spider Ham look tasty? We don't eat Spider Ham. We don't know what kind of radiation is in that.
It may not correlate the way you want it to correlate. So.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not good bacon, I'm gonna assume.
That's some spicy bacon.
Spicy.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was really cool. I thought we would bring it up and talk about it a little bit. We're not gonna dwell on that anymore. What I do want to change topics to is a little bit of this right here. So YouTube is considering offering non-fungible token features as a new source of revenue for its creators. Company CEO Susan, I'm not even going to pretend I'm going to say, we're going to call her Susan W., said in her annual letter to creators Tuesday, which comes as its rivals such as Twitter and Meta have already tapped into the growing market. You know, look, I'm not sure if enough people understand what NFTs are to truly warrant people getting paid that way. But I think it's an interesting wrinkle. Jokes, where do you stand on NFTs?
You know, I'm kind of okay with them. Like, I know for the people that are like, well, I want to have something. Like, I want to have a physical trinket to show that I have it. But I mean, at this point in the day, like with everything the way digital is, I mean, cryptocurrency, I mean, we're talking about having money that is digital that you never will physically see. It is literally all in the interwebs.
I'm going to ask you a question, Jokes. When's the last time your job paid you and you saw the money?
When was I hired? Like 2008. First job. John go straight to a bank account.
You haven't been paid in anything tangible.
He means cash. Like
there's been. I know it's sin. Don't start, sin. Don't start. Don't start. I mean, you have to do like the side jobs to get cash. Like, but other than that, regular jobs, it's like
under the table jobs.
Under the table jobs.
What jobs you be doing on the side, Jones?
I don't want to know about your side work. Yes, Heather, just like the grapes of wrath. Like, realistically, you know, look, money is and always has been fake. It's not real. It's never been real. All money has ever been is
Ellis always pops
perception
in
of value
at the perfect opportune moment.
Yes, Ellis. You probably getting crypto. Ellis, did you change your Twitter profile to an NFT? That was one of the big things that happened like last week. Twitter started letting people change their profiles to an NFT.
Oh, J. Robert Deans, it's not me.
And we know Instagram and Facebook is working on that same thing. And that is what the dollar's worth nowadays. Again, the perception of value is all money is and or ever has been. That's it. That's it. That's why something that somebody bought for $25 can get sold on eBay for $500,000. It's just the perception. One man's trash is another man's treasure is what they say, right? Yeah. So that's a real thing. I just want you to answer the question, Jokes.
Oh no, you didn't hear me when I said. I was like, that's not me. Like, we need to ask Marcus. Marcus was the one that's supposed to have his OnlyFans page up and going ages ago. That apparently never. Or you know what? Let me say it could be up, and he may not just be admitting to it, and it's out there.
Yeah. What LSA? Pop that up on the screen. I did, but then I got haters who said they could screenshot it. So then I sold that NFT for $1,800, bought it for $225. My man. That value, right? I mean, look, I'm not mad at that, even in the slightest. I don't know what it actually means that YouTube is looking at paying people in NFTs, right? I mean, we know it's tied to crypto, what have you. Again, my biggest concern is that there are far too many people who have no idea what that really means or how that actually works. What are you saying? They can sell it? Oh, they can't sell that screenshot. I mean, sure, they can't sell the screenshot. They could download the video if the video is there, and they could try to sell it, but it would have a marker on it that says it doesn't belong to them, and it's not theirs to sell. That's what the idea behind it is. Man, what I will say is that it's interesting, and I'm gonna keep my eye on it because you can't. No matter how you slice it, you can't ignore it. It's not going away. The sheer amount of money is 24, something like that. Last year alone. So it's one of those things you can't. It's not going away. 24/7 anyway, might as well mine crypto anyway. Pay folks who think crypto is more valuable than physical currency, gold, etc. I mean, again, again, if you're not sitting at a table selling your wares at a convention, more often than not, you have not been handed cash. And even if you have been handed cash, when somebody hands you a $1 bill as opposed to handing you a $20 bill, the actual difference in value is literally nothing other than what it says it is. It's not different than handing you another piece of paper, technically, because no one's been able to prove whether or not the actual gold that is supposed to exist to back up every dollar that exists on the planet is actually there, and that's because it's not. Like, I don't believe it's there. So yeah. Sam said it's frustrating that small artists work for decades to improve their craft, and the trend sweeps up money for NFT creators like that. But that's life. I mean, that's a real thing. Again, it's not super different from what I was just talking about with the music industry. The amount of money that I spent to buy the necessary equipment to put an album together is leaps and bounds over what somebody would have to spend now to just do it in their closet. You know what I'm saying? Now, would the quality be as good? That's a whole different thing. But the other thing about it is the way that the digital landscape has shaped what we respect about what we hear and or what we see means that most people don't or wouldn't recognize the difference anyway. Do albums, wax, vinyl, does that sound better than a CD? Do CDs sound better than MP3? Do MP3s sound better than AIFs or waves or whatever? There's more data, but there's so many hoops to jump through to decide whether or not what you're hearing or what you're seeing is as good as the intended creator anyway. So now if you create something and you create it in, let's say you create something in Photoshop and you make it in 1920 by 1080. But now when somebody goes to view it, they view it on a screen that's 4K. What does it actually look like versus what the intent was? How much better do old video games look on an old CRT versus what they look like when you try to put them on something that is supposed to show you a better image? They're like garbage. That is the way that technology changes things, and that perception changes things. There are people who love the way that old kind of gritty, grimy, pixely, whatever. There are people who love the way that looks. And it gets to a point where it's considered vintage. And so now maybe it's worth something because somebody put the word vintage on it. Again, it's perception of value. I'm not buying though. I don't know what VV NFTs are, but if Spider-Man's in them, maybe I don't know. I don't know what that is. Sam, I have multiple albums upon albums, signed a deal and everything. Like that's a whole story for a whole other thing. Almost went on a tour. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I did a lot of stuff in the music. Sin and I spent time running around doing street team work for labels, for MCA, RCA, Arista, Elektra, Bad Boy, like you name it. Anybody that was coming here that was doing anything, we was out in the streets putting up posters and handing out T-shirts and picking people up from the airport.
Security for IMX.
Doing security for people. We did all kinds of stuff. In those days, it's a little crazy. I have crazy stories to tell. And I don't mind telling them to you. The problem with R. Kelly is that he generally only waits until 15 years. You know what? I got stories about R. Kelly too. That's a thing. I got stories about R. Kelly too. Yeah, the Nas NFT album, big deal.
To your whole story?
Whole story.
I'm pretty sure the history, but
hey, whole story.
Hey, but that's how people be saying your whole story. Your whole story.
Yeah, man, look. Again, we know artists who are getting into NFTs and doing crazy stuff with it. And you know what? I love it. More power to them. You know what I mean? It just means that the landscape of look, they short squeezing AMC right now. Like, you can make anything valuable if you really want to push it. But I just thought that was interesting. We won't go too much further into that. Hey, Jokes.
Yo.
Tell me about this.
Yo.
You probably can't tell me nothing about it, can you?
Hey, it's for what is this? The year of the
Tiger.
The one that's on the box.
Yeah, it's the one that's on the.
You're right. I wasn't gonna say it, but I seen it. Of course, the only thing that originally came over to me was the fact that it was red. That was the first thing out of anything that I saw when it first popped up. So my hope was, when I saw it, it was like, oh, they're gonna have these out here for you to actually buy. Nah, you gotta win this. So I entered. I honestly, I think my luck. I think the PS5 has burned my luck for the next 5 years or so, and probably
I doubt it. I'm sorry, your luck is just too impeccable. I'm sorry, I doubt it.
You do have incredible luck, sir. And look, it's a nice red box. Nice even J. Robert Dean said I would get that. I think it's a cool looking box. I do.
Yeah, it is. It's dope. I tried to get into it too, just like you did, Gage, and the website was down or whatever.
Yeah, I tried this again. Yeah. That's the kind of luck that Jokes has. Jokes I spent the joint to Jokes hey, Jokes, you see this? And he was like, I already entered. And I'm like, dang, I tried to enter, and it told me the website was down. And then someone was like, I tried to enter too, and the website was down. You some of them. And didn't bother to tell us. You know what I'm saying? Didn't shoot no message to us and say, hey, they got this joint up. Y'all might want to try it. Nothing. Didn't send us no love.
He made sure he got his entry in first. Before.
Yeah, that makes me upset. So we're not going to talk about that anymore. That's enough of that. I think it's a cool looking box. I want to talk about this Rainbow Six Extraction though. Listen. For those of you who don't care about playing video games, I'm going to let Sin tell you about the pressure this game puts on people.
Hey, Lord Jesus. Hey, look, he is not lying about that pressure. This is a 3-player tactical first-person shooter. It's 3-player co-op, and you need 3 players in this for a lot of it. They do not play, they do not pull any punches. And me and Gage have been playing it ever since it dropped, and been working our way through it, as best we can with only the 2 of us, because we can't. It's tough.
What are you talking about?
It's tough to get a third out here in these streets.
Okay.
What you gonna say, Joe?
It does look a little bit like Bane. It does look a little like Bane.
I definitely have been playing, and you know what?
You have been playing? Where? With who?
With y'all, because you know what? When your ass died, I had to carry your ass back to the main part of the map so I could toss you a little thing to save yourself.
I mean, that was the first day.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
thank you.
That was a week ago. You know what I mean? Like, that was.
Come on now.
I've been on back and forth, but I've been playing this Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, I give it. I will give it to you.
What? Hold on. No, none of them are in rainbow colors. No. Rainbow Six is an elite team. It is built of different peoples from around the world, different kinds of team. I believe that's where the rainbow term comes from.
Yeah, that's where the rainbow.
But no, it's not LGBTQ specifically. But yeah, this game is like,
it's intense.
Rainbow Six Siege was a different kind of beast. Like, it is a multiplayer tactical shooter where you are designated with doing certain tasks. So it's not just like you got to go in and kill the whole other team like you might find in a Halo or something like that. It's not like straight deathmatch or like capture the flag, or whatever. Like, essentially, you have a team of people. You can choose one character. You go in and they give you 3 areas to try to clear. And in each area, there's a specific task that you need to perform. So basically, they may say, when you get into this area, there are these nests that spawn these aliens. You need to go and tag those nests because we need to extract the information from them so we can learn more about the enemy, kind of thing. It can go south real fast.
Oh, yes.
And what happens is, while you can find health in the field, any health you find in the field just acts more as like a buffer or a shield. So you might go in at 100% health and you can pick up additional health that might give you an extra 50 or something like that. But if you get hurt and you come out of the field at like 75 or something like that, like, you can't get health that will heal you. The only way to heal your character is to not take them into the field and allow them over time to heal and get back to health.
How much health your characters get back, how you perform in the field.
Right. And again, it can go sideways really quickly, like Jokes was saying. And if your character goes down in the field, there are 2 things that can happen. Either one of your teammates must pick you up and take you back to the extraction point to get you out. Under which circumstance, when you get back to the base and you look at your characters, that character will have no health. And so you can't use them until they become healthy enough to go back into the field. What they can do when their health is at like 40.
Yeah.
Or you will have to extract without that person because it's that dangerous and there's that much going on. And that character is now left in the field and you can't use that person. Now, what happens if they get left in the field is that any experience that character has gained. And what I mean when I say that is not just the experience that they earned while they were on that stage. So let's say they give you 1,000 points of experience for achieving a certain goal in that first part. You're not just losing that 1,000 points. If you have been playing with that character over and over and over again, and that character has earned 30,000 points, that 30,000 points is now gone from your overall total until you go in the field and you perform a rescue of that character to bring that character back home. And if you fail to bring them home, eventually they will give you the character back, but you will lose all the experience. It's
Talking
dangerous, it's
stressful.
tricky, and it puts some pressure.
Yes.
That joint apply.
Like, no, it'd be real. It'd be to the point where we be like, hey, look, let's not risk this anymore. We've already been hurt. Let's get out of here. Let's not even play.
Straight up.
Have confidence to go to the next part, and then that health starts going to, oh, nope. Let's just turn around.
Let's go.
Extraction.
Yeah, let's go. It's not worth it. It's not worth losing them.
We'll be halfway through doing the goal on just that stage and be like, hey, Slim, I'm hurt. We gotta leave. I'm leaving.
Go.
And I'm gonna tell you what's tricky. You have to leave as a team. Because let's say I get hurt, my health goes down to like 10, and I'm like, dog, I'm not going any further because I'm not going down in the field, right? And I go back and hit the button to extract. If the 2 of them are playing with me and they don't make it back to the extraction point, they will get left in the field and have to get rescued. So you have to get back and you have to decide as a team to leave or stay. It is a thing.
It is
I think
intense.
Frosty showed up.
It's got to be one of the most entertaining things, I swear, for y'all to watch us play this thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Intense.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's real bad. It's real bad, and the stuff we got to do is real bad. And I'm gonna tell you what.
Oh yes, some of them objectives pop up. I would tell Gage in a heartbeat. Nope. Extract. We are not starting with that one. Not happening.
Sometimes it hurts my feelings. I'd be like, hey, you know what? We can do this. And my man just hit the button. I'd be like, hey, no,
we abort mission. We're not starting with this joint. No. If it was three of us, sure, I'd give it a shot. Nah. But it's just two of us. I'm not risking that.
I mean, you know, we ran with Cuddy a little bit. Cuddy was running with us the other night. Joe's ran with us the first night. Marcus said he was gonna run with us. I'm downloading it right now. Never heard from the guy again. Ain't heard from Marcus until today. It's downloaded and ready to go. I ain't seen you, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
It don't exist.
We'll find out what happens. Yeah, but it's almost over. J. Robert Deans. Yeah, listen. Joe was free on Game Pass. Mm-hmm. I was happy to download it. They already got a little bit of money out of me because why not? I'm playing. I'm enjoying the game or whatever. In there with that revenue.
I'm ready to get back into it.
Tonight. Today. Jokes is
I'm about it.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I can take a little time off. Hey, I got back. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! In a very long time. So when they released this new game that's like the end all to be all, I jumped in.
End all be all?
Well, the idea is, with everything the way that it is currently right now, they're having troubles running the normal tournaments that they would run. So they were doing those virtual type of things where you could have your camera on the cards. Yeah, I'm getting into it, but there were some iffy things. I guess there were.
How much money you spend?
I've only put about $20 in right now. I only put $20 in because they were good about when you first start the game, giving you a fair amount of the in-game currency, and you can actually freely earn the in-game currency in the game, which is a real cool part. But trust, there's whales that will spend hundreds. I mean, just like in real life, to build the deck. But the cool part is you can actually generate cards that you don't have as you progress through it. Like you earn these tokens. And you can use these tokens to make cards that you don't have. So it makes it easier to get them without buying packs. But they're designing it so you can play online versus people the same way. But eventually they're going to
talk about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, they're going to use this as the actual like tournament stuff going forward at some point. Just because you can manage, obviously on their own servers online, they can manage that stuff a lot easier than physical cards that someone could just accidentally like slip one into a deck or something like that for it. So pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, if you say so. Now, like again, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, that's your thing. I don't
Marcus, don't do that. You'll talk about.
I grabbed it. I haven't messed with it yet because I've been on Rainbow, but I've grabbed it.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Oh, and the best part is free. That's
why I grabbed it.
When they originally announced the game, it seemed like one of those that you were going to have to actually just go in and pay for, but to everyone's surprise, it ended up being free.
I mean, it makes sense. They got them whales. You already spent $20.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're gonna drop a lot more on that.
I want to know if y'all saw this quote. It says, I can't tell you which game in particular we're doing, but there will be an announcement this year. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson told Men's Journal when asked about future plans to bring video game characters to the big screen. We're going to bring one of the biggest, most badass games to the screen. One that I've played for years. I'm really excited to bring it to fans around the world. Of course, we're going to do it right by our gamer friends, but really, we're just going to make a great movie. Now, I don't know if y'all remember this.
Hey, the disrespect.
Is that disrespectful?
My gosh. Oh gosh, that was too good.
Here's what's interesting about Doom. This is way before The Rock had the kind of pull he does in Hollywood, okay? As a matter of fact, he's front and center, but he lost top billing to Carl Urban, who is behind him doing the most screaming right now. Between Doom and Rampage, I'm not going to say the track record is immaculate with the video game But video games to movies doesn't have a great track record as it is.
Nah.
Yeah, that forehead is real.
Yeah.
It could be Pitfall. But he said he's been playing it for years. I don't think Rock been playing Pitfall for years.
Yeah.
Marcus said Boom wasn't that bad. You're right, whatever Boom was. But Doom?
Doom was terrible.
I mean, far be it for me to tell you, Marcus, that you should not have enjoyed Doom if you enjoyed it.
Remember, this is Marcus.
Facts. Yes, chess would be a great, but chess is not really a video game. It's a board game they have done in video game form. Here's what I found the most interesting. And before I pose this, I just want to know, Sin, what game do you think this is? What do you think he's talking about?
First game that popped in my head for some reason was Gears.
That's actually the same thing I said.
That's the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, for some reason, Gears just makes sense for The Rock to jump out there and give it a shot with. Big dude, big armor, big weapons, killing aliens and stuff, you know.
Is it trifling if it's The Rock when Batista has been rallying so hard to play Marcus Phoenix and they actually made him Marcus Phoenix in the game?
Yeah, that would be kind of trifling.
Do you still think that that's what it is?
I'm sticking with Gears.
You two, jokes?
That was the first. I was actually having a conversation with my boys at work, and Gears was that same way. It was the one that stood out when it's hard to say, it's a game that he's been playing for years. So, you try to think of different video game franchises that have been around the clock. And of course, with his relationship that he has with Microsoft, being the guy that unveiled the first Xbox on stage, that could be something. Now, maybe they didn't say he didn't say necessarily he's going to be acting in it per se. And, he may be bringing it to life. Maybe he's going to be, I know I say that loosely. I say that loosely. Okay. But he could, maybe he ends up just being, the face behind the scenes, directing or doing whatever for it. I think Gears could be cool if done right, but I still think it would be disgusting if it ended up not being Batista, because my man has
been pushing for it.
Blood, sweat, and tears at this point trying to get into
I mean, look, Batista could play Marcus and The Rock could play Dom. I think he could. I think he could be Dom. Like I think that would work. You know what I'm saying? Here's what I want to share. Ed Boon of Mortal Kombat said he'd make a great Shao Kahn.
Mortal
Kombat been around for years. We just had a Mortal Kombat movie that was garbage.
Terrible. I mean, I'm not
tell y'all
mad,
something about a
but
bad
Rock,
movie.
don't do that because that's just bad.
I mean, maybe with his involvement, I had such high hopes for that Mortal Kombat. Batista should play Marcus if they do it. He should. Though I feel like, the problem with bringing Marcus's voice is so iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That I feel like Batista doing that just wouldn't do it.
He may have the look, but you don't have that. You don't have that iconic voice of his.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Like that just nasty. Like I need to hear Bender. You know what I'm saying? Like that's Marcus Phoenix. Like if it's not him, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Saying like we're just trying to make it a great movie. Maybe they don't even focus on Marcus and them, and it's another bunch of soldiers that they're focusing on during that time.
And maybe just have them like guests show up in there and then somehow do. That could be an interesting take on it.
And Batista shows up at the end of the movie and the after credit scenes is Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah, maybe instead of trying to do like another game like a Judgment that wasn't so good, maybe you do a movie. You could do a Gears movie, a new cast, new type of thing. You tell a different story. And of course, somehow you tie in the original crew in there somehow.
Totally possible. I can see The Rock playing JD. He could play Marcus's son.
Marcus's son will tower over top of him.
I'm just saying it can be done. All right, look, let's talk a little bit about this this acquisition aftermath, man. We talked for a long time about what Xbox, Microsoft buying Activision, means. We had some guesses and some things. Here's what I want to know. In the wake of what happened, the day of the last episode that we had a weekly, that following day, Sony lost $20 billion in valuation. They dropped 13% in value, which is a lot. Now by the next day, they had rebounded like 3.6% of that. Still,
Yes.
That's a giant loss. But I want to put a couple things in perspective, and then I need to get some opinions from you all. First, I need for everyone to understand that Microsoft making this purchase, once this purchase goes through, look, there's been a lot of talk about it being a monopoly or antitrust and stuff like that. All that aside, and I'm going to tell you why. Because once the acquisition goes through, it still puts Microsoft in third place behind Sony at number 1 and Tencent at number 2. Japanese company, a Chinese company, and then Microsoft in terms of overall dollars and market share when it comes to video games. So, yes, Sam. Yes, you can. I think that speaks a lot to what it means to have Microsoft make a play like this and what it actually means in terms of where companies like Sony stand and where companies like Tencent. Tencent fired like 70 people today because of people doing insider stuff and like it's a lot going on. Game industry is pretty nasty. So being third, again, behind Tencent and behind Sony, means that this move is one that only moves them up a bit. Like, it's not like it immediately bumps these other folks out of place or that these folks don't still have very strong names or strong stand. Most people don't even know who Tencent is. Mm-hmm. But Tencent has stakes in almost every major company, including ones like Epic, who do Fortnite. Like, they have full control over Riot, which Arcane, League of Legends, like that's all Riot. So there is a consolidation that's happening to some extent, but there's always new things being created and people leaving and spinning off new studios and doing the next big thing. So I don't think that's a big deal. However, Call of Duty is a big deal.
100%. It's a huge get.
And so one of the things that I said we would do is talk about the NPD. And so before I start pulling opinions from you all, I want to look at the NPD. Can we do that?
Let's do it.
All right. So let's take a look at December NPD for Xbox. So for those of you who are unaware, NPD is a firm that tracks sales of games per platform and as a whole. They've been doing it for years. Like, you need a subscription to get the information. But one of their analysts is a guy named Matt Piscatella who posts most of this information directly on Twitter. So you can go and just get the information. Like, it's not super hard to get. But so for December of 2021, so last month, these numbers always hit at the end of the following month. Halo Infinite is their number one seller, followed by Call of Duty Vanguard, followed by Madden, followed by Battlefield, which is not doing well. Followed by Forza, Far Cry, NBA 2K22. There's an asterisk there. NBA 2K22 sales do not include their digital sales. It only includes their physical sales. These other ones have digital and physical. Which means technically NBA probably sold a lot more than that.
Yeah.
FIFA 22, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then at the bottom in the number 10 spot, Call of Duty
COD.
Black Ops Cold War. So we have 2 Call of Duty games in here. I want you to look at the publishers, okay? For Microsoft, on their platform, they only have 2 games that are in their top 10 that they own, right? That they publish. Halo and Forza. Everything else is somebody else. Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, Take-Two, which again, Take-Two bought Zynga 2 weeks ago. And then Activision. Activision's in 2 spots. Electronic Arts in 3 spots. Ubisoft's in 2 spots, right? So technically, when you look at if you look at the landscape of video games as a whole and look at the publishers that put out the games that end up in the top 10, it's almost all the same people, and it's only like 4 groups. Okay? Now, let's look at Xbox for the entire year. So this is Xbox platform for the entire year. And this is the top 20. We don't have to look at the full 20. We could just look at the top 10 if you want to. Look at the number 1 and number 2 games for the year. Call of Duty Vanguard, followed by Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. That is 2020's Call of Duty game.
Look, even number 10.
Not to mention number 10. Yeah. Modern Warfare came in right to wrap that joint up.
From 2019.
They're in the top 10.
Call of Duty has 3 of its games, including ones that are from 2 years ago, in the top 10 games for the year. For the year. Madden at number 3, Battlefield at number 4, Far Cry at number 6. Here's the other thing that's super important to keep in mind. Call of Duty is the number 1 game every year, and it doesn't come out until November. It outsells every other game that comes out every year, including games that drop in January. And it drops in November. Every year. In 2 months, they wipe everybody else out. Okay? Now, as a whole, if you look at the top 20, how many times do you see Activision Blizzard?
No, they're up there. 3 times.
3. That's it, though. That's it. Think about all the IPs we went over and talked about last week that they own. Crash Bandicoot. It's only 3 games they got that sit in the top 10. That's it. But they're that important. Because their game from 2 years ago is number 2. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Let's look at PlayStation from December. Number 1 game.
Call of Duty. Jones almost damn near the same, minus a few titles.
Followed by Spider-Man, which belongs there. It does. But then Madden and Battlefield. Again, EA. Basically in about the same spots. Ghost of Tsushima is in there. NBA is in there. FIFA's in there. Far Cry's in there. Ratchet and Clank in the number 9 spot. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, which is kind of interesting. But it makes sense. It was on a lot of people's game of the year list. But Sony also has a marketing deal with Square Enix for Guardians of the Galaxy. So that makes sense. Again, NBA 2K, the only game on there that doesn't give you their digital sales. So let's look at PlayStation for the full year. Top 3. Vanguard, Madden.
Yeah, same top 3, just 2 of them are flipped.
Correct. Still, Call of Duty sells like crazy.
COD is still on here 2019 at 16.
Correct. Still in the top 20. Again, Sony has Spider-Man, MLB The Show.
Go Minecraft.
Minecraft, right? If you look at Microsoft, the only game they have in the top 20 is Minecraft. And that's on Sony's platform, not on theirs.
That's what made it interesting.
So the idea that people are putting forth that like, oh, it's a monopoly, and they're taking, you're talking maybe 3 slots in the top 10. Even though it's a big deal, you're talking maybe 3 slots in the top 10 that would possibly be owned by them, assuming they continue to do every year. Everything else is split between most of the same people.
Yeah.
It's Sony, it's Electronic Arts, it's Ubisoft. Warner Brothers in there a couple times, like Back 4 Blood's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Mortal Kombat 11 is in there.
Yes, Sam. Guardians. Really, it's that good.
Oh, it's that joint
It's
is
that
super
good.
good. It's super good. Yeah. So before we look at the overall MPD for December and for the year, everything across the board instead of just looking at the platforms. And no, I didn't include Nintendo. And I didn't include Nintendo because Nintendo doesn't count to me. They're in their own
Took the words
space.
right in my mouth.
Yeah.
They're in their own space. This is why I say that. Has anybody ever asked you, should they get a Switch, a PlayStation, or an Xbox?
No.
Oh.
No, they'll ask if they should get a Switch, but not over an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
No,
right.
Never that.
They ask, should I get a PlayStation or should I get an Xbox?
Right.
If people want a Switch, they just go get a Switch. Like they want Nintendo, what Nintendo's doing, they just buy what Nintendo's doing. But like, I don't have people. Marcus says yes. I don't know who you're dealing with. Maybe somebody who's buying for a young child or something like that. Maybe. You know what I mean? But for the most part, like, people don't even consider Nintendo. Nintendo stopped playing in the same field as them when the GameCube came out. After that, that was it. They stopped trying to compete in technology, and they live in their own IP space. We got Mario, we got Donkey Kong, we got Metroid, we got Zelda. Like, we're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nintendo has almost zero third-party support. Lots of indies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But, like, there's no Madden. There's no Call of Duty. There's no, like, that stuff doesn't even really play in those platforms. It's one of the reasons why people, I feel like, even consider the idea that Microsoft might be able to get Game Pass on a Switch. And that rumor was hitting for so hard like a year ago. Because Nintendo doesn't play in that same space. What's Sam say? All I'm going to say is you were not an 8th grader in 19 or 20. Switches were better than everything. Hey, listen. And here's what I'll tell you.
Bringing them to school.
The portability. What I will tell you, though, is that now you have companies like Microsoft that make an acquisition of Bethesda, which has a mobile developer, and now Activision, which has like the biggest mobile developer in King, because they want to play in that space. Where Nintendo found their biggest issue outside of being able to compete from a technology standpoint was trying to deal with the growing mobile landscape. So when they put out the Wii U and tried to do a tablet, it was because little Fire tablets and iPads and iPad minis and like kids were playing on phones and all that kind of stuff. And it was eating into Nintendo's profitability. For the first time, 3DSs / Game Boy Advances were seeing drops because you could just play on whatever you were carrying. Now you have a company like Microsoft that is serious about something like Game Pass and the cloud and giving you the opportunity to play full-on console games on your mobile devices wherever you are. Your laptop, your cell phone, your tablet, your TV, wherever you go. They want to be on everything. I'll give you the best way I can kind of connect this. Game Pass has been called the Netflix of gaming. So I'm going to ask a question. Jokes. When you watch Netflix, 90% of the time, where do you watch it?
TV.
Okay. Through what device?
Xbox.
Okay. But you have a PlayStation 5.
I do have PlayStation 5 as well.
Is Netflix on your PlayStation 5?
It is on there.
Is it on your iPad?
It's on my iPad.
Do you have Netflix on your phone?
I do.
Okay. Do you have a DVD player?
Just a standalone.
Just a DVD player. I don't care if it's hooked up or not. Do you have a DVD player?
Yeah, then yeah.
Is Netflix on it?
No.
Maybe. How old is it? Is Netflix on your TV? Is it built into the TV?
Built into the TV. Yeah, built into the TV.
Do you have more than one TV that has Netflix built into it?
Yes.
Okay. Just pause right there. Sin?
Yo.
Do you have Netflix on your phone? Is the app downloaded on your phone?
Yes, the app's on the phone.
The app is on your phone. Is it on your Xbox?
Yes.
Is it on your PS4?
Yes.
Do you remember having a disc so that you could watch Netflix on your Wii?
Yes.
Okay. When you watch Netflix, where do you watch it?
On whatever system I'm using, the PlayStation or the Xbox, it's one of those. Just depends on
your TV.
Yeah.
Does your television have a Netflix app?
It does.
So you can watch Netflix on your TV without doing it through your console if you want to. Okay. Netflix is also on all your computers, on your laptops, because you just go to the website and just watch. Netflix became what it is by being
everywhere,
by being on every device. Wherever you go, there it is. Every other,
it's even a button on my remote, a red button that says Netflix.
Yeah, a lot of remotes they haven't built into it.
Exactly. Here at my house, where we have Dish Network, not DirecTV, there is a channel you can go to that is Netflix. Every box in the house, you just tune the box to that channel and log into your Netflix account. Netflix is everywhere.
It's a channel.
And
that's
that
funny.
Is the secret of their success. HBO Max will be everywhere if it's not. There are some places, like there are certain TVs, like LG doesn't have like the HBO Max app, but they do have the Disney Plus app. They don't have, you know what I mean? Like it's everywhere. Backbone is incredible. Exactly. Sam, there are any number of ways you can get Netflix on your screen. Even if it means you take an HDMI from your laptop and plug it into your TV and watch it on that. Like, you can get it there. That is what Microsoft is attempting to do with Game Pass. Put it everywhere. Jokes.
Yo.
Is Call of Duty going to be Xbox exclusive?
No.
You don't think so? Okay. Sin, do you agree?
I think for the most part, yes.
You think it is going to be Xbox exclusive the most
part? I think for the most part, yes. I think Warzone, they might find a way to keep that everywhere, but I think everything else is coming to the Xbox family.
Damn you, Netflix.
Jokes. Are you saying the same thing as Sin is saying? Like, do you think that Netflix, that Call of Duty only like Warzone is going to be on everything? Or do you think like every Call of Duty that comes out, regardless of whether it's like the Warzone only multiplayer game, is also going to be on everything?
I still think they'll keep it both ways. I think where the change comes in it is I don't think Microsoft will be trying to have a Call of Duty title every single year. And I think that's where the change comes in it. They have three different developers that work on Call of Duty in a cycle, and so every single year there's always one dropping. But I think what they'll do is they'll pull off. Let's say they only pull off one. Even one would make the difference, whether it's for them to work on a new IP, because I'm sure all three companies, Treyarch, what's the other two? Infinity Ward,
Sledgehammer,
and
Infinity
Sledgehammer.
Ward.
I'm sure they all have stuff they would absolutely love to work on with it and not be Call of Duty for an opportunity. Sure. But I think they'll try to scale it back, and in that way they don't have to worry about it as much. Then you drop it once, and then you can feed it its updates. You can give it its new DLC.
Are you under the impression that it's necessary for Microsoft to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation?
I don't think I'm under
that. Yes, that Peter Gabriel Sledgehammer. Yes.
Yeah.
Joke, sing it.
No.
He don't know. He don't know.
You sure hit the Scooby-Doo when you
Classic.
I don't think they.
Marcus says no, it's not going to be Xbox only exclusive. I'd love for you to expound on that a little bit, Marcus. But continue, Joe.
I don't think they feel as though they have to not do it. But I think, just like you said, they want to be everywhere. So if they start keeping Call of Duty on the PlayStation, but when you boot up Call of Duty and that joint has a big old Xbox Studios joint, when you turn that on, honestly, you may get the same boot up when you boot up a Series X and have the whole logo and everything come up on to be kind of cool. But no, I don't think they're going to be pressured into keeping it there. They could absolutely, by all means, say, you know what, it's exclusive. If you want to play with us, you gotta have at least Game Pass. You ain't gotta buy the console. You gotta have Game Pass. You can at least play this Call of Duty on PC. I know they'll be happy to have it in that realm, but I don't think they'll not keep it exclusive. I think it'll be still on both platforms.
A few days ago, Phil Spencer, who helms Xbox for Microsoft, posted a tweet. I'm going to read that tweet to you. I'm not going to put it on screen. I'm just going to read it to you. It says, had good calls this week with leaders at Sony. I confirmed our intent to honor all existing agreements upon acquisition of Activision Blizzard and our desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. Sony is an important part of our industry, and we value our relationship. Pop what Marcus set up on screen for me.
Yeah, just waiting for you to finish.
Activision just allowed crossplay between Xbox, PS, PC for Call of Duty not too long ago. Too much money lost if they go that route. I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm going to tell you why I disagree with you. So, in the Epic versus Apple trial that we have seen over the last year, a lot of information that wasn't supposed to be made public was made public by the court system. That information included the fact that Sony charges an Xbox tax to anybody that wants to have a game on their platform and it be crossplay. So for years, Sony has said, we're not allowing crossplay. There's no reason for it. People don't want to do that, which has clearly not been the truth. But they have also said, show us how us letting you play with other people on other platforms makes us money, which I'm not mad at. That makes perfect business sense. So what Sony does in order to get people to do cross-platform play on their platform is, if they allow cross-platform play from their side, if they see a loss, you have to pay them. There is a tax that is associated. If Sony sees a drop-off in the amount of money that they make by your game being on their platform, once they allow your game to work cross-platform, you have to pay them a fee. Okay? What this tweet says to me is, I called Sony and said, hey, we'll keep that joint on there, but all that cross-platform tax joint? No, sir. Not any Activision game ever, period. You're not doing it. You're not getting it. You want to play ball? You got to play ball. That's what that says to me. It doesn't say they're not going to do it. What it says to me is, we put out a tweet that says that we have every intention of trying to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation platforms.
And we are
now the ball is in
the
PlayStation's
contracts.
court.
Right. We're going to honor the contract, so don't worry about that.
We're going to honor what's already there, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Which is a thing that Microsoft has been doing. A lot of people have been likening this acquisition to what Microsoft did when they purchased Minecraft. Because they did not take Minecraft. People were afraid that they were going to take Minecraft off of PlayStation. They were going to take it off of Nintendo. They didn't do that. They left it in those places. Here's what they did, if you recall. They made Minecraft cross-platform. They did an update that made it cross-platform across PC, phone, laptops, tablets, consoles. Sony wouldn't allow it. So Sony didn't get the update. So if you were playing Minecraft on a Sony platform, you're playing the old version.
Old Joe.
You're not getting the update. What this says to me is, we will honor the contracts. We will keep it on there. But when we do the next update,
You ain't getting it.
If you don't get rid of that cross-platform BS you trying to pull,
none of your Call of Duties is getting them updates.
Your folks gonna be playing the old version. Period.
I can see that.
That's
move
what that
too.
system. Now, could they make it exclusive? Absolutely. The amount of money that there exists to be made by Call of Duty releasing across every platform is not an amount of money that is necessary for Microsoft to make their money back. They don't have to release on PlayStation like a new one. Like if Warzone's there, Warzone's going to keep making money.
Right.
That's
with
what
Xbox and PC alone, they'll be completely fine getting their money back off of Call of Duty.
Microsoft wants to put Call of Duty in Game Pass. Now, if Game Pass shows up on PlayStation, that's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
But I want you to think about how complicated that really is. If right now, when you run Game Pass on your Xbox, what happens is you go into Game Pass and it allows you to download the Xbox version of said game. So if Game Pass is on PlayStation, does that mean if they allow Call of Duty, when you go in to get that game from Game Pass, are you somehow downloading an Xbox version of it? Are you downloading the PlayStation version of that game so that it plays natively on the PlayStation?
Interesting.
Do you have to play it from the cloud?
That's what I'm saying. It'd be like a Game Pass cloud version for it to, like you don't download it.
And then does it suck by comparison to playing the full version download? Right. You understand what I'm saying? It is much more complicated than I think people make it out to be by simply saying, oh, well, yeah, you'll just like understand that in order for Microsoft to get Game Pass, good night, Sam. I'm gonna watch that. Sam, before you go to bed, shoot me your email, so I can send you some music. In order for Microsoft to jump through the loopholes they had to get so that Game Pass could be on Jokes' Apple phone through a separate app, I don't know if you completely understand what happened. Used to be, you could jump on the Xbox app and you could buy games in the Xbox app. Y'all remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Did you know you can't do that anymore?
I don't think I actually
you can't do that. Because in order for them to be able to avoid having to take somebody else take a profit of the games and what have you, in order to do that, they can no longer basically have a store. So the store, the Xbox store for buying games, you could buy games and have them downloaded directly to your Xbox, doesn't exist anymore. It's not there. So the idea of them taking Game Pass and putting it on PlayStation is not that simple. Can they do it? Yes. Have they engineered a way to do it? I'm sure.
Sure they have.
But the question is, and the reason for PlayStation to say, why should we allow this, is what version of the game do you get? Are you playing an Xbox game on this platform? And therefore, when you go in, even though you're playing this game for free, when you go in to buy with your discount, your 10% discount to go get skins or whatever it is, who gets that money? Does Microsoft get that money? Does PlayStation get that money? Do they both get it? And Microsoft takes a portion of it off the top? How does all of that work? There's a lot of logistics to it. The easiest thing to do is just say, nah, that joint's not on PlayStation anymore. You want to play this joint, you need to be on an Xbox, you need to be on a PC, you need to be on a phone, you need to have Game Pass. Now again, super easy to just say, nah, it's cool. Just go ahead and keep putting them out because we'll just keep making that money. Like, it's possible. Let's do this. December 2021 MPD, across the board. Here's your top games for December. Call of Duty, Halo Infinite, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, Madden Battlefield, Mario Kart 8. How old is that game?
Jesus Christ.
It's old. It's old at this point.
Miles Morales, Mario Party Superstars, NBA 2K22.
If you get that.
Animal Crossing. Those are your top 10 for December. How many games does Microsoft have on the top 20? How many times do you see their name?
Twice.
2 times.
Yeah.
That's it.
Ain't on Forza.
That's it. Sony.
Once?
Twice.
I see him twice.
I see him twice.
Ghost?
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
And Spider-Man.
Yeah, and Spider-Man. Yeah.
Okay. How many times do you see Activision Blizzard?
Twice. Oh no, once.
Yeah,
One time.
And it's Call of Duty Vanguard.
It is Call of Duty. But again, the idea that it's like,
Yeah.
oh, they're going to have a monopoly and they run everything. And that's crazy. You can't do that.
You're only saying that because
No.
they have like your favorite games right now. So that's
Yeah.
the only reason why you're saying that.
How many times Electronic Arts on it?
3.
Ubisoft?
Twice.
I think Nintendo's on there more than anybody else.
Yeah.
And again, Nintendo don't even play in their same field.
2, 3,
5.
Yeah, they're cranking.
And you know, I guess with Brilliant Diamond and Shine, I guess they're counting both of those as just one title. Like
But still, like you said, Mario Party, Mario Kart 8's on there, and Breath of the Wild still running on there. Like
Also, again, taking in
Jesus.
mind that Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl has an asterisk, so only physical games.
Same thing with Breath of the Wild and Smash Brothers and Mario Party All Stars, all their stuff.
It's crazy. It's anything that's on
None
Nintendo.
of their digital counts, and they still in the top 20.
Yeah, and they have the most on this list in the top 20.
Exactly. And again, with Microsoft completing this acquisition, they still have more money in market share than Nintendo does. Okay. So let's look at the full year. Across everything. What are your top 2?
Call of Duty.
Come on now. COD.
Last year and the year before. 1 and 2 for the whole year. Madden, Pokemon, Battlefield. Sony got to join the top 10. Nintendo got to join the top 10. Capcom got to join the top 10. Sony has another join in the top 10, partially with help from Microsoft and Game Pass, because MLB The Show.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah. Microsoft only has one on the list, and that's 20 with Forza Horizon 5.
Number 20, Forza Horizon. And it came out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And it's in the top 20 with Game Pass. But they will tell you that Game Pass keeps games from selling.
That's obviously not the case.
It can't be the case. There's one going on here that says, oh, MLB The Show has a little arrow next to it. It says Xbox digital sales are not included.
Oh!
So only the physical sales from Xbox are included in this.
That don't be higher if that don't include that in there.
Oh, yeah.
People are going nuts.
Same thing with all the Nintendo ones.
Nothing. You know what? You know what, Jay Roberts? Here's what I want to know, so we can shut this show down. Sin, what do you actually want / expect to see come out of this acquisition? Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. Do you even care? Does it matter to you?
I mean, they're bringing beloved titles into the Xbox family. I just hope they show up on Game Pass, honestly. Like, I'm not tripping if they still show up on a PlayStation personally. Like, play the games. Like, I'm not one of those
because you play on both consoles. You play on both.
Yeah, I love games. I'm not like Sony fanboy, Xbox fanboy. A new game comes out that sounds dope. I just want to play it. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not tripping if all that stuff comes over to the Xbox or if it stays where it is. Like, it's not gonna hurt me any. Like, it's we all, it's all about gaming at the end of the day. It's all about coming together. Like, here's what it is. Just bring them the Game Pass and I'm happy.
Same playing field like Sin. The one thing that I think Microsoft will probably do to kind of get a gamer that never experienced something before. So World of Warcraft. Now we saw how Diablo was able to finally come to console. I could see them trying to do, whether it is the full World of Warcraft game or if they try to do some variation for console, I see them looking to possibly do something like that. Because I will tell you, there's a world of people that would love to play World of Warcraft that either one, just they don't play PC games, or unfortunately don't necessarily have a PC to play it. But if they decided to put World of Warcraft in Game Pass in some shape or form, then they would probably be able to just access on their PC from that point, because it's going to be playing off of their own servers. So
that's actually dope jokes. That's actually dope because Sony has Final Fantasy 14. I mean, they have it on there, so to have, WoW on the Xbox would be dope. Something to challenge that and go up against it. So
I think that would be phenomenal.
There was I will tell you, J. Robert Dean said Microsoft Flight Simulator is incredible. It's incredible. It's way more than halfway decent. But it's not in the top 10. But most of what is sold on PC, and this is the NPD console sales. Leisure Suit Larry, I do believe, is an Activision owned property.
Oh, what's one on the PlayStation? I bought it.
I had one on the original Xbox.
Yeah,
play that joint all the time. Hilarious.
I was thinking of grabbing it just to stream it, just for fun.
Okay. Go for it. Yeah, I mean, look. Last week I told y'all that I felt like a lot of this was sort of a response on their end to the fact that like they can't break into the Japanese market, like they just can't get those deals going with those companies. They just won't work with them. They won't, whatever. We actually saw when Sony's stock took a dip, Square Enix went up. Konami jumped up. Capcom jumped up. And the reason for that is because of speculation that those companies are now possibly desirable as acquisitions, whether they are acquisitions by Sony or Tencent or somebody else. Again, it also means that companies like Amazon may just go, this what we doing?
Give me that.
So let us do this too.
Right?
Just scoop it all up.
All three of those companies all jumped by about 5% each. Ubisoft went up by like 11%. And in the Japanese market, part of the belief is that some of the reason why those companies went up is because of the idea of them forging together to keep an outside entity from being able to come in and purchase them. Right? So that's kind of some of what we talked about. There is, again, companies like Tencent that are just investing and buying. Tencent actually has a pretty decent stake in Activision. They're just getting bought out. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's what that is. So if you remember when the Overwatch Cup happened and the guy that won the Overwatch Cup was a Chinese guy and he made a statement about all the stuff that was happening in Hong Kong, and they pulled his prize from him and took all that. That happened because Tencent has ownership. That's why that happened.
Got it no more.
Well, they do for the next year and a half.
You know what
I'm saying?
So that pen is to the paper.
But the likelihood that this doesn't happen is super slim by comparison because, again, if you really look at the industry as a whole, all the indie games, all the indie titles, all the other things that are happening, all the companies that spin off, you know what I mean? All the
companies coming up every single day
that EA has, who's got licensing deals with who and all that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of why Sony bounced back the way they did the next day is literally because Spider-Man No Way Home is doing so well still. Literally, it's because of that.
6.
Like, I saw an article today, like, yo, is this joint about to overtake Avatar and beat, do what Endgame couldn't do?
That's on to
not
number
that they didn't have
6.
to re-release them both again to go back
Yeah.
and forth, but again, it's just, look, the industry is going to keep changing. There's going to keep being more information. There's going to be more stuff that drops. We'll be here for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Before we bounce out of here, here's what I need you to know. I have not seen her in the chat today, but Doctor Who reached out to me and asked me if I would post this. Hey, Jokes, if you would do me a favor and jump in the captions, I put a link in the captions under Meticulous Skin.
Got it.
Doctor Who has a sale running, some special bundles and stuff going for Valentine's Day. So this is, you jump on that link right there. It'll take you right to the website. You can make some purchases and put some stuff together for that special someone.
Okay.
With Valentine's Day popping up. So that's that.
Got to get that being packaged.
Straight up. Tomorrow night, if you are a member of the Loading Snacks Movie Club, we will be doing our discussion on Ocean's 11, 8:30 tomorrow night. Be looking for y'all to join us there. We're going in depth. Be ready for that. Jokes, you have a job to do.
Yes, sir.
You all know the drill by now. Follow us across the board. Jump into Patreon, check some things out. That Spoiler Boys, it's a real thing. And I don't know if y'all been paying attention to Boba Fett, but whether you have or haven't, I feel like you might want to hear some of the hot takes we got on that. What Pop J. Robert Dean's comment up for me? I don't know. I gotta figure out how we gotta send a message to Restream, figure out how to get that logo moved.
Yeah.
Just reviewed the eczema buttercream, solid stuff. Well, no, not solid. You know what I mean. I do. I know what you mean. And that's dope. That's awesome. What'd you say, Marcus? Oh, 2022, bring back beats and beatdowns. I hear you, bro. I hear you. We just need some beats. The beatdowns part is easy. You know what I'm saying? Sin, you got a job to do.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dorch, and Tyrone Carson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Facts. We love and appreciate y'all. Jokes.
Yo.
Anna says she loves Spoiler Boys. Hey, Jokes, I'm going to ask you a question.
Go.
Right now, a lot of people saying that Horizon Forbidden West is looking incredible. I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there going to be a PlayStation 4 bundle for Horizon Forbidden West?
Yes.
For real?
I think so.
All right.
Making all those extra consoles?
No.
You know? They're not going to do that?
Nah.
Okay.
Dude, it's going to be on the console, so.
Oh, it's going to be on the console. It says only I'll be able to get it and play it.
Might as well. Throw that joint in the bundle.
All right. Hey, listen, love and appreciate y'all. I gotta jump in here and do some extracting. We gotta jump on this rainbow. So
yeah.
For myself, Gage, for Sin, for Jokes, we are the Loading Snacks crew. Follow us across the board at Loading Snacks. We are out. See you next week. Toodles and Lose.